Help me welcome the 2025 Women to Watch panel. Brittany, your first event was just last year, and you're on stage, and your product is here.
I am a mom of 5. You know, we're done having children now, but...
Why did we all laugh?
They did all laugh.
I wanted to be the mom that fit in. I wanted to be the student that fit in. So much of that blocked me from doing the work that I'm meant to do.
I really deepened my ability to trust myself. That came through supportive community. I was realizing what I was capable of.
People will tell their kids, you can be anything you want to be. Go chase those dreams. What are you going to do if they look back at you and say, really, Mom? Why didn't you?
This next panel of women is a compilation of women who've been through a few of the different programs within Powerhouse Women. They're women who I have watched expand and transform right before my eyes. So I'm gonna actually have them introduce themselves when they come to the stage and join me. So get on your feet and help me welcome the 2025 Women to Watch panel. I'm gonna have each of you start off by introducing yourselves as who you are today. Because even since I saw you yesterday or a few weeks ago, I know that the pace that these women are evolving at means that they could have started a new business since the time I saw them last. So I'm gonna start at the end with Rel, who came with, the power pony is always ponying.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have Rel start with us at the end. Just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, I'm Rel.
I haven't had this many.
I am a multi-passionate working mom, like so many of you. And I can say that I am proudly thriving in the beautiful chaos of this stage of life that I'm in right now. I'm diving deeper into my faith. I'm building a brand and a business, fiercely protecting my marriage while nurturing my love for fitness and nutrition and personal development. Still getting my hands dirty in clinical dentistry and doing all of that while guarding my mental health as if my life depends on it, because I know that it does.
Yeah.
I empower ambitious working women, especially those with autoimmune disorders like myself, to break free from the toxic diet culture that has left them tired and hungry, insecure, and really freaking confused about food. I teach them to fuel their bodies for strength and energy and longevity so they can step into their God-given purpose without hesitation and confidently step into that little black dress on date night, proud of the woman that they are and the one that they're becoming.
Yeah. Sierra?
My name is Sierra Shuey. I am a mother of 3 very sweet little boys who are with their dad today, so I can enjoy this with all of you. I am an environmental scientist, and I am the founder of the Upliving Project, which is a seasonal support system for women that I've created to help them find their voice. Just to be on this stage and speaking in front of you all right now is just really unbelievable, and for full circle from where I came when I first stepped into this room a few years ago. I could barely speak to new people, and to be able to sit and speak in front of you all has been a journey for me. So that's something that I am sharing with my friends, with my community, and that has been rooted in self-love, self-trust, and creating practices to support that.
So beautiful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Johnson.
It's her fan club.
I am my wife. I am a mom of 5 with 2 sets of twins. I am also...
They were like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I am also the founder of Trades of Brit. It's a natural skincare brand that is rooted in nature and perfected with chemistry. I am a chemist, so I formulate and I make all of our products for dry and sensitive skin, but we are made for everyone. Especially being in the desert, everybody has some type of dry or sensitive skin. And so we do have our products here today, but one thing that I am just super excited when it comes to just creating skincare is being able to serve people and help people. And that is exactly what we do through Trace of Brit, being able to help people who have no voice in terms of their skincare, of not being able to find products that serve them and to serve a place where we can be that business and that product for you.
Mm. And like she said, you can shop it in the Powerhouse Women pop-up shop. So exciting. All right, Anna Marie.
Hi, guys. I'm Anna Marie Green. I am a mom of one, and I am a fiance. I started my journey as a clinical therapist in 2020, and I decided about 2 years into that journey that I wanted to change things up. I wanted to create a new path, and I wanted to completely disrupt the mental health system that wasn't working for so many. As the intuitive therapist, I have revolutionized my industry with the intuitive therapy method, which is a breakthrough process that combines energy healing and psychotherapy and has helped over 300 people become symptom-free in 12 weeks or less. I also teach and coach other therapists and coaches to integrate this method into their own practice so that they can streamline their clients' results. You can kind of think of me as the Meredith Grey of intuitives and like the mental health version of an early 2000s movie glow-up scene. Yeah.
So I am just sitting here having this moment of reflecting on each of these women and their growth, especially as it relates to New Year's Eve, aka the Powerhouse Women event. Because I feel like this is the time where we all get to come back together. We get to be physically in each other's space. We see each other a lot on Zoom, but we rarely get to be in person together. So I just would love if you would speak to who you were when you walked into your first Powerhouse Women event, and who you are today, and what that transformation journey has looked like, as just realizing you are an expander for everyone who's here, whether this is their first year or not. I want people to see the transformation that is possible through each of your stories. So Rel, what about you?
So my first event was 2023. And when our plane landed in Arizona, I was still Laurel. That's my full name. And I had decided, like, I knew I was ready for more. I knew I wanted to do something. I was ready to start a business. So I, before PJs and Prosecco, accepted the certification that I had just interviewed for to become a fitness and nutrition coach. And I introduced myself as Rel to everybody that night, which was hard for me because I'd never done that before. And I felt still like just I was looking up to everybody in the room. They all like had felt so accomplished and they were also driven. And I was like, I want to be like them. And I have this, vision of who I want to become. And now I can say, like, today I have stepped into who I thought I would be by then. And now, like, my vision for my future is so much more than that. That's where I'm at today.
I just keep flashing back to, there was a kind of this interim program, this top secret program we did during the summer. And I remember at the end of it, you just had this moment where you acknowledge, you're like, wow, I just am so willing to take bold action.
Yeah.
And we watched you week after week step into that.
Yeah. I said that I've been so far away from my comfort zone for so long now, I'm not really sure where I lost it. She's back there somewhere. We haven't hung out in a while.
So Sierra, you were someone who, when we first shared about the event, you went on your stories and you pulled like the photos from the archives of your first Powerhouse Women event. And it wasn't until that moment that I was like, oh no, it's so real, the physical changes that we all go through. I mean, you all have seen my different hair transformations, but for you, when you reflect back on your first event to who you are now, tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. When I came to that first event, I came knowing no one that was going to be here. I had seen it the year before on Instagram. I knew some people that had come, but I came really not knowing what to expect. It just looked like a fun time. I come from the corporate world around lots and lots of men, and I was like, this looks completely different and so much fun.
Very
So
different.
yeah, very, very different. The outfits are a lot better. And I came to the event. I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know many who the speakers were, and I heard everything they had to say. And while it was so fun and so exciting, something that, if this is maybe your first experience, that you may feel afterwards, I felt a lot of discomfort when I left. I realized I was expanded so quickly in such a short amount of time. Like, I physically felt it. I felt tired, not in a drained, negative way, but an interesting way that I had not felt before.
Yeah.
And through that time, it's been really interesting. One of the changes, I have a lot more friends. I know a lot more people here. It's so fun to come back together like it's our New Year's Eve. But it's very interesting because what's happened through my time in being in the community and making so many friends is I really deepened my ability to trust myself and make decisions based on my intuition. And that came through supportive community. So coming to myself through seeing myself in other women, through being able to be seen by other women, to being able to send unhinged voice notes to some people of like, I've got this idea and that, and this may seem crazy. And just being heard and seen with so much love and compassion that this community has to offer has just really completely changed how I am able to show up for myself, how I make decisions, and how I just find so much more peace in my life.
Yeah. Oh, so beautifully said. Okay, can we give that a round of applause? I'm like, for me. Brittany, your first event was just last year, and here. Wait, hold on. I'm just having this moment for you. You're on stage, and your product is here. I don't know if you knew that. And you're wearing this fabulous outfit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so full circle. I remember coming, and I told you this story. I came last year not really knowing what to expect. And so it was like, wear what you feel comfortable. And I was like, great, jeans and a cute shirt. And I walked in and I was like, oh God, they got cute stuff on. And I was like the timid, awkward girl. Like, I love talking to people, but everything just felt awkward. And I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be here. I don't know why, but I'm here. And I just kept reminding, like, I'm here. And even like the call for Six Figure School, I'm like, I'm doing it. I bought it and didn't even tell my husband. I was like, so? Some money is gone. I don't know where it went. Sorry. And then all in same, like, so he's like, is this the same woman? I was like, yeah, I'm giving her all my money. But like walking into this year, I was even like, coming on the stage to dance last year. No, I came on the stage this year. It's a boldness and a power that I have in me this year that is out of this world. Like, you wouldn't have caught me in this last year. Clearly I wore jeans. So yeah, it's different. It's so different. It's a different vibe.
And it feels like you. You know, it's different, but it actually just feels like you.
Yeah. I'm happy. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be at.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Whew. I mean, you know, I have this vivid memory. Again, similar to April, I like remember meeting her at Peaches and Prosecco, and I remember Anna Marie's first event. I creeped her out at the Expanders dinner. I was like, you were wearing a yellow dress. And I was like, oh God, that's weird for me to remember. But I did. I just remembered you. So take us back to that first event and where you were at.
Okay. The first event was, I think, the 2022 event, or maybe it was 2023.
What was I wearing?
You were wearing rainbow gladiator.
23.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And
how I know.
I remember when I decided to come, it was because I actually I wanted to submit a video for your Powerhouse moment video. And I was like, okay, the only way I can submit is if I buy a ticket. I had no idea what I was in for. I was like, I just am trying to put myself out there. And at the time, I was so broke, guys. Like, I had no money. I was a single mom. I had been a single mom for years. We were on public assistance. I was trying to figure everything out. I was still a therapist, but working for clinics is not always like fun. I don't know if there's any other therapists in the room. And I remember when I came here, I had like $50 in my bank account. I had packed sandwiches and food for myself because I couldn't afford to eat at the restaurants. But I was like, I'm going to be in this room. And I told my family it was like a work conference, like something that I had to do for therapy, like as for my license, because my family would have totally judged me. And I was so transformed. I remember feeling like I could hear myself for the first time, even though I was intuitive and stuff. It was so hard for me to hear things for me. And I left knowing exactly what I needed to do. I signed up for six-figure school, also not knowing how I was going to make it work financially, but I made it work. I was actually working as a secretary at the time because therapy was not helping. So I was at a totally different job. And I remember the next year, like after going through six-figure school and the event, I all of a sudden had this thriving business that was able to provide for my daughter and I for the first time since I had her in college.
And this was just last year.
Yeah. And so I went up to Lindsay and I told her and I thanked her because I have so much gratitude for this community and I have so much gratitude for this room for reminding me that my purpose is important and that I can do it. I had women who in the six-figure school groups would tell me like, no, you got like what you have is amazing. Here's how you're going to kind of fine tune it. And now from where I'm in now, I've served over 500 people in my services. And I have a thriving like mid six-figure range business. And I can take care of my family. I'm also engaged, which is awesome, but I don't need a partner to be able to give my daughter and I the life that I have always dreamed of giving her.
Yeah. So we've been having these conversations, whether it's in the Expanders Retreat, which Anna Marie qualified to attend this last year, whether it's in All In or the six-figure school work that we've done together, but we've been talking a lot about letting go, the things we have to let go of in order to step into what's next. So I'd love for each of you to speak to something that you've had to let go of in order to evolve into this version of yourself. Rel, do you want to start?
Yes, I would love to start. I would love to start. I've had to let go of, I want to tell you that I've let go of a lot of limiting beliefs, but I haven't let go of all of them yet. I'm still working through some of them. But I have had to let go of, much like I've heard repeatedly on this stage all day today, is the opinions of other people. I really had to accept that they're not any of my business. And so I don't ask people's opinion on a lot of things anymore because I'm learning to trust myself. And I feel like other things that I've had to let go of are, I'm learning to, like I said, to trust myself and to stop thinking that I'm not worthy of the things that I have on my heart, and to know that I really have so much potential to impact so many lives, and to know that I deserve to have what I've worked so hard to do. I had to really work through that this morning. I had a whole moment, and while everybody was having coffee by the pool, and I was letting go of some things that morning where I was like, I need to just step into who I know I'm meant to be, and so that's what I've let go of a lot of things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's a great reminder. Yeah, we can give that an applause. That I don't know that the goal is to be free of all limiting beliefs, because there's just new ones that come at different levels. So it's the reminder that, because I would always get down on myself, like, okay, when I shed this belief, then. And it's the reminder to take them with you, because you've grown and evolved so much. I mean, signing your first one-on-one client over the last few months, and like, we push this girl, we push her, we're like, great, you're coming back to the next call with an offer that you're gonna present to people, right? And then she would cringe and she'd go do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Sierra, what about you? What have you had to let go of or shed in order to become this version of you?
One of the things that I've had to let go of, and this was a recent revelation that I had crying in the showers, like so many of us probably do, was I used my hard work as a shield.
Oof.
I realized that I had the thought, if I work hard enough, if I'm doing the most, nobody can say anything bad about me. And what I made it mean about me if someone thought something negatively about me, and realizing that my worth is inherent and it's in me no matter how hard I'm working.
Mm.
I enjoy working and doing things and can be very, very motivated by checking the checklist. And I realized that I was tethering myself to so many things. And I'll do this thing and I can do this. And as I was expanding, I was realizing what I was capable of. And as I was doing that, I was tethering myself to all of these things. And I found myself, it felt safe because you're tied up, but I was not able to move through things. It was very uncomfortable. And I realized that by slowly, not all at once, because you don't want to free fall, slowly cutting those tethers to things that I had given so much importance to, and just coming back to myself and find that inherent worth within myself, and then building from there and creating a support system for myself from that place.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. Brittany, what would you add to that? What have you had to let go of?
There's 3 things that come to mind. It's self-doubt, fear, and weight.
Mm.
The self-doubt is that perfectionism that we've talked about, being from the Midwest. I'm a firstborn daughter, first grandchild, and so there's these expectations that you should do something one way. And when you lean to the left or the right, people look at you like, especially family, like, get back on task, girl. Get back on task. And I remember when I was going for my PhD, and I was telling my dad, I'm like, I'm not doing it no more. I'm going for my master's degree. And he was like, why? Oh, no. And that reminded me of just being an entrepreneur. I'm doing what I want to do because I want to do it. I'm trying to build a legacy for my family. And so the fear starts to slowly shed away because you're doing things because it makes you feel happy. I've done so many things because I've had to do them to support my family. I've done so many things because I needed to do them to support my family. But now I'm doing things because I want to do it. I want to run my business because I want to do it.
Yeah.
And if I want to stop, I'll stop. But I love what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I really am. And then the weight can come in so many different things. For me, having 5 children, that last pregnancy put me over the edge. Over the edge.
The what?
Over the edge. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, girl, you do not look sexy. And everybody else around me was like, girl, you look good. And I'm like, are we looking at the same girl? I was a college athlete. I at one point I had 6-pack abs. So to me, I was like, no, this is not where I want to be. And I got to a place, and it's recently, thanks, Rel.
Got you, girl.
Where I ended up losing about 15 pounds. And I'm looking at myself like, I didn't do that because someone said you needed to do it. I did it because I wanted to do it, because this was where I wanted to see myself. The confidence that I needed was not in anyone else. It was in me. And that's where it's centered from. If I'm not going to be the best version of myself, I have to want to put in the work, regardless of what I'm doing.
Whew, that's so good. It's like the reminder of, and we all have our own version, right? That was like a personal decision for you. Part of the expansion process is raising your own standards for yourself. And when you do, you get the opportunity to build that new sense of courage and confidence. And we see it. We see it. Anna Marie, what have you had to shed? What have you had to let go of?
I feel like so much, but the biggest thing is I had to shed this desire to fit in. My entire life, I have been trying to fit in, but going against nature. When I was young, I'm also the oldest of 5. And my siblings are all like super athletes. And I wasn't. I was the child who had epilepsy from a young age, so I couldn't drive. I was the kid who was supposed to do well in like academics, but then didn't, and then had a child in college and threw the entire family for a loop. I'm 6 feet tall without heels. So I naturally stick out, but I spent so much time trying to fit in. I wanted to be the mom that fit in. I wanted to be the student that fit in. And so much of that blocked my light and blocked me from doing the work in the world that I'm meant to do. Because of my nature, even what I'm doing now goes against the grain. It's meant to break through molds. And until I was willing to say, you know what, I don't fit in. I don't know that there is a place that has a path that has been treaded this way before, and that gets to be okay. That's when I really started to see the shifts. And that's when all of a sudden I could see how much my work mattered and I could overcome all those other fears.
I mean, who else can relate to that, right? It's so natural to want to fit in. I just was hearing as you said that, I was trying to fit into the wrong rooms, is what I realized, right? Because here, we've created a place where this is the standard outfit, right? This is the new fitting in. Yeah. And if you don't have that place where you feel like you fit in, go find it, go create it, because there's someone else who's waiting for it. So when I was reflecting on this panel, I quickly realized, I'm like, oh, you're all moms. And a lot of times, we'll have diverse stories on these panels, and I don't know that I've ever had a women to watch panel that you're all mothers. So I'd love for you to actually speak to how motherhood has shaped your becoming journey. And you all have kids of different ages. You all have, different numbers of children. We actually have a speaker tomorrow has 2 sets of twins as well, and that's
Crazy.
That's just new for us. Yeah. But Rel, how has your motherhood journey shaped this journey that you've been on, building your business, building yourself, becoming the woman that you are today?
So, first of all, I had to realize that all of the part of my journey of like being able to step into this version of myself that I really like becoming is that for so long I didn't feel great about myself, and I juggled and really struggled with depression and anxiety and all of these things, and I was tired all the time, and I just chalked it up to motherhood for so long, and until I got diagnosed with my autoimmune disorders, and I tell everybody, I'm like, listen, motherhood is not supposed to be like that, like you're not supposed to be tired and resentful or any of these things. Like, you should get to still feel like your best self. And so as I started to like get further away of those waves of depression and anxiety and become the version of myself that I was really becoming proud of, I do a lot of personal development work, and I hear Ed Milet say all the time, people will tell their kids, you can be anything you want to be, little Johnny, go chase those dreams. And he's like, what are you going to do if they look back at you and say, really, Mom, why didn't you? And I think about it all the time. Yeah. And so I dream big dreams, and I take bold action, and I'm working towards the things that I write in my journal every day, and I tell my kids about them, and I share what's in my journal. And they probably think I'm a little crazy. They probably think I'm a little weird. Yeah. But I even tell them, like, when we're praying every day, I'm like, give Connor and Corbin big dreams. Help them to see the possibility, because I know how much potential they have, and they don't. And so that's how motherhood has changed me, is that like I'm starting to believe in the potential I have in myself because other people have seen it in me, just like I see it in my kids. So
little mirrors.
Yeah.
Sierra, what about you?
They are little mirrors, that is for sure. So I have 3 little boys, and I am raising 3 emotionally intelligent little boys.
Thank you for your service.
Doing my best.
Doing the Lord's work over there.
And little children have big, big emotions. And becoming a mother has really deepened my capacity to sit with emotions, to sit with beside them through theirs. If a child is having a really hard time, they have to process through it. They don't understand the way that their brain works when they're having a hard time. And you've got to sit with them and be patient. As much as in your mind, you may be wanting it to be over as quickly as possible. But being able to sit with them and have compassion with them and hug them, and then realizing that that is the same thing that we need to give to ourselves.
Mm.
If I'm having a hard time, if I'm experiencing a difficult emotion, that internal dialogue that can be really mean, I would never say that to them. And realizing that that's the same love that I have to give to myself is really the biggest difference.
So beautiful, isn't that? Yeah. What about for you, Brittany?
What was the question again?
How has your motherhood? She's like, I didn't remember the question. That's how it's shaped. That's how it's shaped
right.
my becoming.
I was so involved.
Yes.
Sorry.
Just reflecting on how motherhood has shaped this becoming process for you.
So I started my business because of my daughter. She had eczema, was diagnosed at 6 months, and I was like, you're going to give her steroids for the rest of her life? No. And I have this very toxic trait that I think I can do everything. Like, I think I can build a house. I don't. I'm going to stick to chemistry. I can make anyways. And so my daughter was 6 months when she was diagnosed with eczema. And then basically a year after, it's when I started my business. So in the midst of starting my business, we only had one set of twins and a singleton.
Only.
I know, that's what we call it. Jeez. So 3 children, and that was in 2021. So my children were born on the day that it was a pandemic. We have pandemic babies, like true pandemic babies. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I don't know, I'm going to run a business. Like, what does that look like? I don't know. I sell product. And I thought I could hide behind my product. I said, I don't need to be the face. Do not look at me. Buy the product, please. And they're like, but what is it about? Skincare. Natural. You want it? And becoming this mom, then we had, fast forward 2 years, second set of twin came. Cool. Do we stop the business now? Nope. Because we need money. My husband's like, we got 2 sets of twins. I said, I know. I'm still going to run the business. And I spent all the money. Give it to Lindsay. But I see them see me, like even me leaving. They're like, Mommy, where you going? I was like, I'm out. But I'm out because I'm trying to help support you. I want you to see what I'm doing is for you. And yes, it's for me, but it's also for you. I want to build a legacy that I didn't see in my family. My parents paved an amazing path for me, and I appreciate them so much. But I want to do so much more. They always say that you want your children to be better than you. And I want my children to be better than me.
Yeah.
I really do. And becoming in this journey now, like my mom was here. She helped me set up yesterday. And she was like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, thanks. I didn't.
Did you cry?
It's a hard cry for me. I'm like, I'm never crying.
Single tear.
Right, yes. Tear. I'm like thug tear. And so it's so crazy to see like where we're done having children now, but to watch my
why did we all laugh?
They did all laugh. They're like, are you sure? The mom with 10 kids was like, have more. I was like, girl, bye. You can have that.
Unsubscribe.
Yes. It's such an amazing journey, and literally like being bold. I want that for my daughter. I'm a Leo. I just had a birthday, and I want my daughter to be able to like step out and be bold. Like I want you to be the lion and be fierce with it, girl.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want, and that's what I'm really becoming. And this journey is just that.
Mm. I remember asking you about your yellow dress, and I said, I remember your Instagram handle had something to do with baking. So when you think of Scarlett, how has your motherhood journey shaped this becoming process for you?
It's everything.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, I became a single mom when I was 21. I got pregnant right in the height of my junior year in college. It was so much fun. And when I think about how it has shaped me in my becoming, there's really three things: doing it messy, making a village that counts, and finding my magic. My daughter unleashed all of the magic in me, not all at once, but I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have gotten into the intuitive world without her. And part of it is the journey where we lost her father when she was 1.5. He died by suicide. And it was devastating for me. He was my best friend, and we were in this weird, messy journey together, and suddenly he was gone. And to me, the mental health system failed him, and it's no one's fault or anything like that, but I wanted something better. I all of a sudden had these fears of, what if she gets anxious? What if she gets so low? Or what if she starts having similar mental health issues? How am I going to support her? I refuse to let her enter into a system that could potentially fail her. And I let my anger and frustration and my love for her lead me, as well as I refused to be half here for her. She already lost a parent, and I was so devastated. I was so deep in my grief for years. And the thing that I was told is supposed to help me didn't. I was in therapy twice a week. I had done all the things, and I was still crying every single night in the shower, wishing that I wasn't here, feeling like I failed everyone around me.
Mm-hmm.
And because of her, I refused to let myself drown there. And I found a way forward. I latched on to whatever emotion I could that would move me forward. At the time, it was anger. I was angry at the system. I was angry at all these things. And I let it lead me forward. And doing it messy was all part of it. Having a kid in college is messy. And then I had no money. I finished school and I was out in the world, and I was like, okay, I'm going to work. And then the pandemic happened. I struggled so hard, and I didn't think that I would, because when I was younger, they said, if you go to college, you'll find a job and all your problems will be solved.
They did say that.
So here I was making at the clinic sometimes $500 a month and having to make it work with my daughter. So we were on food stamps and public assistance. And sometimes to make it by for groceries, I got into baking. So I started baking things from scratch so that I could just pay for some of the groceries. And it taught me to do all the things messy. What else do I have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
And then I built this really great village around me that even if I felt like I was failing, they were like, we got you. I mean, sometimes with family, the strings were attached. There was a little bit of judgment, but that's okay. But it's a totally different space to be in when you're like, okay, I have these people who see me, who love me. And part of it is this community here, as well as my friends back home. And they all saw something in me even when I was at my lowest, and they weren't going to let me fail myself or my daughter.
Yeah, yeah. Incredible. So I would love for each of you to speak to how you knew it was time to invest in yourself. You know, we've been through several journeys together. You've all been through six-figure school. Some of you have been through the bonus round of six-figure school we called All In, because you just make up names at some point. You're like, do you want to come and do this thing with me? Anna Marie, you've been to the Expanders Retreat. And when I think about every single container that we create to go deeper together, to transform together, it's never really about the strategy on the surface, sometimes that we think we're joining a program for. And I would love for you to speak to how you knew it was time to invest. And if someone is sitting here today and they're considering the upgrade, which is going to be the place, like this is the transformation container that we're creating. It's the only place we're going to go deeper. Those women, whoever is a part of that experience, are going to be the ones who are sitting on the panel next year, sharing their transformation stories. So if someone's on the fence about joining, how would you speak to your experience within wherever you want to go back to in terms of your journey with Powerhouse Women? What would you share for those that are really feeling like this pull, but also the fear? Do you want to start us off, Real?
So I knew that first year when I came to Powerhouse that I wanted to do six-figure school, but I had also, just accepted that certification that I borrowed money from my mom to pay for. And so I was like, well, I got to get some other things in place first. And I actually messaged you like the Monday after the event. And I was like, hey, I want to let you know I couldn't do six-figure school this year, but I'm in next year. And that was almost like an accountability for myself. I already told my husband, I want to do this next year. It's this much money. I'm going to plan for that. And he was like, cool, do it.
Yeah.
So when we got in the room last year and I looked at the thing, I signed up like before we even started. So I signed up.
A woman of her word.
Yeah, exactly. And I showed up to every call on the verge of tears the first several months. And I felt like just nervous and like everybody else was so much more accomplished than me. And, but I also knew like they had to start where I was, like we all have to start somewhere. And so I would make it a point to raise my hand and unmute my mic and ask a question or say a thing, even if like I didn't really have something profound to say or, any wins or anything like that, but just so I could like use my voice. And usually something would come out of my mouth and someone would message me that day and be like, I'm so glad you spoke up about that because I've been feeling that too.
Yeah.
And so that was where I was kind of like, okay, this is working. So again, like every week there was just like, I was feeling growth and momentum. And I would be in a breakout where I was like, oh my, like, have we met before? Because this is like, everybody just makes you feel so validated. Like when we got to the point in, was that January I can't remember when All In was. I remember being on that call and I had told my boss 6 months in advance the year before that I was going to drop a few days at the clinic because I needed to focus on what I was building in my business. And she knew and whatever. And what she didn't tell me was that I was going to lose 5% of my commission. I was going to lose my paid holidays. I was going to lose vacation and 401k match and things that were like really making me feel secure. I lost a significant portion of my predictable income. And so that instantly felt like pressure to perform in my business. And I knew that specific call, we talked about money mindset and scarcity. And that was something I knew I needed to work through. And even though I was feeling that like fear of losing that predictable part of my income, I told my husband, I said, listen, Lindsay's offering this thing again. And I really want to buy it.
These husbands are going to come for me.
And I just told him, I said, I really feel like it's going to help me mentally be able to step into the next level of my business. And I want to do it. And he was like, great, you should do it. And I was like, okay. And so I did. And I'm telling you, like those calls were just so much more intimate even. And maybe there was an agenda and I just didn't know, but it felt like we would start with not necessarily an agenda, but like one or two people would speak and we would just like everything aligned every single call. And everybody walked away feeling like that was exactly what I needed to hear today. Mm-hmm. And then we had things to work on in between or things to read or listen to. And I'm the kind of girl where it's like, can somebody just tell me what to do and I'll do it? Like I would love for somebody even just like make me a schedule to follow on Monday to like follow up with all these beautiful women that I have engaged with this weekend. I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So that's why I love what we did at All In, was because it just seemed like I was able to really expand. I mean, when we got the first call, Lindsay was like, oh, by the way, you need to create a high ticket offer for a one-on-one program. I'd like you to pitch it to 15 people and come back and report and let us know how it goes. And I was like, cool.
And that was specific to you. We didn't make everyone do
it. Oh yeah,
it
was just to me. She straight up called me out. And so I worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
on vacation, actually. I was like in the plane on the way somewhere. And I did it, and it was really uncomfortable, but I wouldn't have been able to say yes when I had somebody. No, all those people said no, by the way. Nobody opted in. But then a month and a half later, I did have somebody who was like, hey, your group coaching thing is awesome, but I would really love a one-on-one program with you. Do you offer that? And I was like, as a matter of fact, I do. It's this much money. And I tried to defend it. And she was like, oh, you don't need to defend yourself. That price is fantastic. I'm happy to pay it. Literally her words.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had that if I didn't go all in.
Yeah. We can applaud for that. Sierra, for you, how did you know it was time to invest in yourself? And then what would you say to people who are considering this next step?
For me, I signed up for six-figure school the year we had the hypno breath work.
Yeah.
And I have been incorporating breath work into my life, and particularly the hypno breath work. And I'm somebody who would love a sheet of pros and cons and working the numbers. And while logistics are important, I invite you to step out of your mind for a moment and into your body with decision making, because really the wisdom is there. We hold so much wisdom in our bodies, and we're up in our heads all day long thinking about what to say next or what we're going to do for dinner or what's going on. That if we were to get quiet, especially if you're on the fence about it, just take a moment of quiet and sit with it. And you can feel in your body where it is. If it's a yes, if it's something that lights you up, you might not know how you're going to figure it out or the logistics of it, but if it's a yes or if it's a no, and being okay with I've always felt like it's so comfortable here if it's the timing or not. The first year I came, I had no idea what I was coming to, and that wasn't the time for me.
Yeah.
And the next year was the perfect timing, and being able to trust that inner knowing.
I love that reminder to drop in to where your intuition speaks to you. Yeah. Brittany, what about you?
I know when you made the call for six-figure school, I said, I have no idea what this is. And I just know I need to be there. And I felt like my stomach had like dropped, and I was like, oh, okay. I know I need to do this. Like I said, my husband, I asked him later, and I just signed it up. And I remember asking one of my friends, I was like, I just signed up for six-figure school. Did I make the right decision? And she's like, absolutely. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And I'm glad I said yes. Like I kept saying yes. I keep saying yes to you. And you've pushed me. Very similar to Rel. We had a call, and I was like, okay, guys, I want to do this workshop where I want to like make body cream, and I want people to like blend their own essential oils and make their own body cream. And you're like, okay, great. So you guys date? You got a week. I was like, oh. So next week I got to tell you that I booked the thing. Okay. I'm doing everything to figure it out. And I came back and I'm like, so I just booked my first workshop.
Yeah.
We sold out. I hate to say this, but it was like 6 people. It was like, okay, we only have space for 6 people. And I was like, okay, great. That's a lot of people for me. And we sold out within like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They didn't even promote it. It was all my promoting. People loved it. And we're going to be doing another one at the end of the year at ASU for about 40 people. Yeah. So I would have never have thought that was even possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
At all. And so, one thing I guess is like Holy Spirit, trusting that gut feeling that you have. And I'm glad I said yes.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. What about for you?
So as I was kind of reflecting, listening to everyone's answers, I know for me, it is when I come into a room or into a place, and I want you guys to think about this too, where you are inspired to take bold action. And because that feeling that you have of like, oh, if they're doing this, maybe I can do it too, is you connecting to your higher self, is you connecting to that vision. And how I knew it was time to invest and that I was going to stretch myself, even if the investment felt like a stretch, was that I needed to stay in rooms that helped me stay connected with people in a community who saw more in me than my current circumstances. And that's a really important thing. It's pivotal. If you want to leave your mark and leave an impact, you have to be in rooms that feel stretchy, but inspire you to take bold action. So that would be it.
Yeah, we can applaud for that too. I think I'm most excited because this is a space that the entire Powerhouse Women community can come together and connect in. Because one of the things that I've realized hosting the Expanders Retreat, hosting the different things that I've done is there's a through line. We all have so much to learn from one another. And yes, we are going to shift businesses within this experience, but it's going to come through expanding and shifting the way that you see yourself, which is then going to have a ripple effect on your relationships, on the opportunities that you magnetize to you, on the way that you see yourself and the joy and the peace that you experience in your day-to-day. So I heard that there was a little bit of confusion at lunch with where the table was because Natalie had to run. She's allowed to, go and use the restroom and do other things. But can you just wave Natalie in the back? She's a vision in butter yellow. And who's next to you? I can't. Kendra. Hi, Kendra. So at the end of the day, that's where you'll go get your red lanyard to swap it out. And then that's actually also where we'll head over into the little foyer over here for our the kickoff, truly, for this experience. So I'm going to just thank these gorgeous women. Please give it up for our Women to Watch panel.